So the last topic we discussed about, which is called alert profile, right?
Oh, yeah.
Today, what are the topic we'll discuss? One is a smart escape topology. Okay. Second thing is tagging. Third one is anomaly detection. Anomaly detection. Okay. And custom alerts. Okay. And this many things we'll discuss today. So, anyone has idea about a smart escape topology?
Entire topology of that client, it will come.
So, a smart escape topology, right? It will give you the a view of complete holistic overview of your application. Okay, like from data center to application, and application to means top to bottom approach and bottom to top approach. Everything you'll get. Okay, so all the approach you will get. And what are the data you can see in the smart escape? You can see application, you can see process, I'll show you that. You can see service, host, and data center. These many things you can see that. And why a smart escape topology is needed, with the live we can understand that. So if you go to your Dynatrace portal and find your search your smart escape topology. So what is happening is, you see this data center. So if you see this, so I will select a AWS data center example. You are getting the complete view of this under this data center, this host, how many under this data center, how many hosts we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, and select each host. You are getting the complete flow, right? Means under this host, what are the processes are running, how many, which process associated with which service. Suppose this process is Apache Kafka, it is associated with this background activity, this Kafka service. If it is this, with this Java service, okay. So all the service, if it is a process, okay, but doesn't have any service, then it can be that also possible. So you have that all the dependency from top to bottom and bottom to top. If you talk about application, just select the application, only you will get this application required this JavaScript and this running on this two process under this host, this data center, right? So you will get that complete understanding, like flow. You can say that from that from top to bottom, bottom to top. Okay, so if you go data center to application, so you are getting bottom to top. Means bottom to top means everything you will see. If you go, you are coming from top to bottom, you can see only associated service, associated process, associated host, associated data center. Okay, now why is it needed? Example, suppose you don't know, somebody asks you in the organization, hey, can you restart this application? Now you say, I have to restart my hotel demo application. I don't know hotel demo application running on which host, which data center, which process I need to kill. I don't have any idea. So where I can go and I should check? Either I can check with my colleagues, right? Yeah, if you have a Dynatrace, you can check in the smart script topology, like you see that, find the web application front end and see that associated flow, so that you can able to understand that also, so that it will be easier for you to do anything, right? And if there is any issue, if there is any issue on the data center, any issue, it will become a red. Suppose this is the host, and any issue, if you have on this issue, this process, yeah, this service having causing any issue, it will become a red, and you can directly redirect to this page. that page itself, that process service page, process page, whatever thing, you can redirect that. Okay. And also, not like you have to go always a smart escape. From anywhere you have a smart escape option. You have, if you go to service page, you have a smart escape option. You see, if you go to your host page, it will redirect you that this page. Okay, if you go to your host page and see under this host, what are the process, what are the services are running. Suppose I'm selecting the easy trade, and if I'll open this, okay. Now, if you see here, if you click on a smart escape view, you can see that what are the service running, what are the processes are running, all those things. Anyway, you can see here also, you can see the flow so that you can understand that which process is associated with which service. Okay, that is the main thing. Second thing, first thing, anyone has idea about what is the dotted line and single line? There are two lines, right? You see here, one is complete dot 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 line, and there is a complete lines. You see this? Then after that, there is a dotted line. Anyone has idea?
So active service or something.
So whichever the service having some initiated some transactions, like whenever you are requesting something on your front end, it will go to your, that service will get called, the front end service will get called to your business back end, then it will go to the database, whatever, right? That it will go to that different service, microservice get called. Whenever that service has a transaction, initiated some transaction, it will show as a active, like complete line. If there is no transaction from on this host from here to here, this service doesn't get called, it will become a dotted line. So there is a time frame. If there is no transaction within an hour, in 1 hour, it will become a dotted line. Within 24 hours, it won't be any transaction, then it will become a independent also. So if you go to your service and you see some of things are independent, you see this? Means there is no transaction between here to there, yeah, here to here, something like that. Okay. That will become a completely independent. You can also do whichever transaction was inactive. There is no transaction was happened, that you can do. Hide unconnected, that also you can do. Means whichever the transaction is not there. So you have from, because you have lots. You are seeing in the demo environment very this much information. When you go to the bigger information, right? Bigger environment, you'll have many, right? Too much complexity here. So you can do some filtration here. So inactive, so unconnected. You can also filter by something. Okay. We have not migrated. So you can see that, you see, easy trade. So only two things. So you can filter by management zone also, you see, and then you can see that. So because when you don't filter with all, because I have not created this, I just have created a management zone, but I have not migrated anything. But if you click on all, you see this much data in the active. But when I'll go with filter by management zone for easy trade, yesterday we have created, I can see this, only this two service got called, okay, which is active currently, had some initiated some transaction or whoever done that. Okay, so this is the way understanding if there is any problem. So there is a two types. So when we have not discussed about third party problems, so problems, if there any problems also occurred, it will capture here, it will become as a red. It will not say that what is the problem, it will become as a red color. Okay, make sense? Any questions? So everywhere you have host page, service page, front end application page, you have a, suppose if you go to your front end, you have a, this is smart escape topology. Suppose somebody asks, hey, can you restart this application easy trade? Now you don't know which process I should kill. So I can go to this easy trade application and I can open this triple dot. I can see which process is associated. So it will be easiest to find, right? Okay, this process I have to kill. And now you want to understand the PID, right? Suppose you want to understand the PID, that process ID. You click here, it will open your Tomcat process, and then you see what is there. PID is running on this. Earlier it used to capture the PID. Further details. G1 old G1 meta. Somewhere it will capture this PID.
And
Let me see.
properties and tags geography.
Okay. In the information, it will capture the PID. So I'll say that. So that you can find the PID also. So that it will be easier for you to which process ID I have to kill. You see somewhere you can see PID. In here it won't capture. I know that. Was running as
It will show in the process properties and tags.
okay. Sometimes I forget here. It will capture the PID also so that it will you can able to understand. You see somewhere PID. It is running as a container process group port. I don't see that. I don't see that, but somewhere you can find your PID also, process ID also, so that it will be easier for you to which process ID you have to kill. Okay.
Ravi, is that the 13 process identifiers?
Maybe this could be PID. Yeah, this could be so that you have to kill that. Okay, so it will be easier. No, this is not be a PID. PID will be 4 5 3 4 digit, right? 4 digit something, a 5 digit. It could be also. So you can able to find the PID and you can kill that process. So it will be easier for you to understand from here, and then you go and log into your server, log into your cluster, and do some changes, whatever the changes are required. Okay. So you understood what is the main benefit of a smart script topology, everyone? It is very simple. It is not like it will help you to understand the dependency mapping. Okay, basically when you onboard your application in Dynatrace, right, it will that whatever the dependency has to be mapped in Dynatrace, it is doing completely automatically. Some other tools you have to do that dependency mapping, all those things the proper way. Okay, but in Dynatrace it will do automatically everything. It will automatically detect and they will do the mapping proper way. Okay, any questions to understand this? Even you can find sometimes a PID in the data explorer also. I'll show you that during the matrix, right? Suppose I am taking process CPU usage. I'll show you that somewhere it capture. Wait, this coming CPU usage. This is for host. Okay, this is for process. Split by process, filtered by process. Name. Suppose I am taking Amazon SSM. Okay, filter by process. Only process is coming. Application process just to take CPU. Is not capturing this PID. But earlier you used to capture and this PID also. You can filter by process and you can filter by process ID also. And I'm not sure why it is not coming, but it is coming. I'll show you that why it is not coming. I'll see that and I'll show you that. Okay, so you can see that process ID also, and you can able to you can able to understand which process ID I have to kill. Okay, so is it clear for everyone? Harish, Nataraj, Navina. Okay, so now coming to your another topic, which is called tag. Do you know what is the tag? What is the use of tag?
It is nothing like a nickname like we will give to the product
Uh-huh.
service name, production names, host.
Assigning.
Yeah, so tag has a key value pair. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And why tag is needed to identify, recognize your entity. Okay. So either it could be your entity, to recognize your entity, it could be your host, it could be your process, it could be your application, it could be your cluster, it could be anything, right? Synthetic, whatever, right? You are configuring so that with the help of tag, you can recognize, you can identify your entity in the proper way. Okay. Suppose you have one application, you don't know, right? This application, it is a dev, it is a UAT, it is a production, so that if you want to do some kind of, okay, under this host which application is running, right? So that it will be easier for you to identify your entity. So tag has a key value pair. Suppose your environment is a key, then what could be your value? It could be your dev, it could be your UAT, it could be your prod, it could be anything, right? Based on that entity, you can add the tag. If your application is a key, what could be the value? Application name, it could be your EG trade, open telemetry application, Spring Pet Clinic. It could be anything, right? You can add some version, whatever things, right? You can add anything as a tag so that you can able to recognize your entity in the proper way. Okay, some of the tags it will be auto build means from the application itself would be coming. Some of the tags you have to insert so that it will be easier for you to filter it. See, whatever the tag was coming inbuilt from when you onboard your Dynatrace. Okay, example, I'll show you that. Suppose I have onboarded my Dynatrace. If I'll go to my service page, so sir, application version and all, right? These are automatically inserted. Let me show you that. So suppose I go to configuration service. Properties. Okay, we don't have tag. But if I'll go to my service classic, if you go to your service classic, you can find some inbuilt tag. Inbuilt tag means during your application deployment, it will have some tags. Let me see that either they have or not. Okay, they don't have. So some of the things you might have observed in your organization, some of the tag automatically it was coming when you onboard your application, you onboard your service got detected. It has some basic tags, okay? Because during your application, right, itself application deployment, they used to add some version, application, service ID, whatever things, right? They have added in their Dynatrace, in their application code itself, okay? That is the reason it's getting detected. Now you see there is a tag. So there is a two types of tag. Okay. One is manual tag. And second one is automatic tag. So manual tag means suppose you have onboarded one application which has 10 hosts, 20 hosts, process, service, application, synthetic web application, right? Everything. Now I will tell you to add on each entity 10 tags. Like I go to this configuration service page. I have added environment dev example. Like this, 10 tags I have to add. Is it feasible as a best practice? Yes or no? Nischal?
Yes. When if we add, it's a best practice only, right?
No. So this we are doing a manually for 100 entity. Is it a best practice?
No. Manually, it is not best practice. Automatic should be good because
Uh-huh.
more.
So manual is never recommended to insert your tag in Dynatrace anywhere. Okay, manual it is not at all recommended in Dynatrace because you have 100 entity. You go to each entity and add the tag. It would be very difficult. Okay, that is the reason. That is the reason we used to go with. If you want to add manual, you can also add like environment dev. Okay, application, which application it is. Okay, it's easy trade example. So like this we can add multiple tags, version, application version, okay, 1.2, like this, right? So you can add this tag, but this is the manual tag. Wherever you see this, right, in the wherever you have entity and you see that cross symbol, you can say it has been added as a manually. Okay, but this is not a recommended approach to insert a tag anywhere. Okay, like this. Always you have to go with rule based tag. So automatic tag nothing but just like a rule based tag. So the tag it should be such a way that when you insert one application, suppose you have onboarded 50% of your environment for one application, you have inserted tag 50%. When you are going to insert, right, you should not create a rule such a, you should not create again inserted tag. The rule should be defined in such a way that you should automatically pick that tag. Like how we have created a rule in management zone to suppose you have 50% of host, your application got onboarded, 50% yet to be onboarded, and you have created a tag. It should, whenever this host will get onboarded, automatically that host entity should migrate to that zone, right? Yesterday we did that, right? Host naming convention, service naming convention. You remember? You remember? We instead of service, we took a host group. Why? Because whenever we have a microservice, now we have running on 20 servers. Now we have only 10 server you have onboarded. Now 10 server you have to onboard next week, suppose example. So again, you should not come here and create a management zone rules, all those things to migrate, right? The rules should be defined in such a way that it should automatically detect and it should migrate. Some of the entity will get left out, definitely, because it's not matching, because it's completely a permutation combination, but at least your 95% entity will get migrated if you have a proper naming convention in your entity. Okay, same goes to tag also. So tag has a key value pair, and always you need to create a tag based on rule base. So whatever the automatic manual tag you have created, it will show here environment dev application easy trade version 1. So which entity you have added, you see environment dev to tag component, which are the component we have here. So it would be, this is the way it will be show you that whichever the manual tag it was added. But automatic tags, you have to create a rules the way you have created a rule in management zone. It is a similar to that management zone when you have created a rule in the management zone, right? Yesterday it's completely similar. So you see that. So I'm creating a tag. So management zone we have created. So tag name you can say, see, if you are just to think now here, little bit you need to understand. If key is your environment, only value is getting changed, right? Key is not getting changed. Yes. If application is a key, only value is getting changed. Your easy trade, open telemetry, 1 2 3, whatever the application you have, right? Version you have added as a tag, so only version name like 1.0 1.2 1.3, right? Multiple applications, multiple details, right? That will get changed. Other than that, things will not get changed. Am I correct? Yes or no? Same way here, suppose I'm creating a tag which is called environment. So key will be same, only value is getting changed. So value will have dev QA, UAT, staging, prod, it could be anything. So only rules will get changed. So this is your key name. Tag name is your key name. Okay. Only value will get changed. So now value will keep in your optional tag value. Don't forget optional. Even you give environment, it will get created. Only environment will created. Yeah, if you add a dev, it will created. If you do this way, okay, your tag list, right? If you talk about tag inside the tag, it would be beyond your expectation. I have seen one of the environment, and then we recommended it this way. Then they are able to fix the issue because after some rules, right? It will not 1000 or something. It will not allow to create a tag because you have reached that limitation. So because you have added, so key always you keep as a key here. So environment as a key here. Value you keep here. So this is your dev. Okay. Yeah, just you put here UAT. Okay. And now you do the changes. So suppose I am adding this environment UAT for which entity? I am adding for monitor entity for host. Example, add condition. So I can take host group instead of host. I can take a host group equals easy trade and display entity. So whatever things was coming, so it will get added. So now it got added. Now again I'll add environment as a staging. I should not create a key now. Only I should change the value. Are you getting my point? STG I'm adding staging. Only value will get changed. Rule applies to host. Okay, and again I'm giving host group equals pet clinic display entity. Okay, a spring pet clinic. So now I am getting this save changes. So what is happening? Your key has a 1, but inside you have how many value? Staging also you have added, UAT also. So only keys you have, value only you put inside that. It will be, this is the best practice to implement a tag. Okay. So now suppose environment I have added. Same way I need to add application. Now application, add new rule and application name easy trade, and whichever rule applies to service, I'm adding service wherever I want to add this service belongs to easy trade application. Okay, that is my condition. The rule applies to service and add condition. I will not take service name, I'll take host group. So it will take entire this. Okay, whatever the service running on multiple hosts or single host, everything will be taken care of that. Okay, I can add this display entity, all the service. You have only 2 service right now. Save changes. When you do the transaction, it will get added again. So this is the way you can add this. If you go to your service and refresh this page, suppose which service we had, configuration, you see it got added, application easy trade, version, environment, right? This is the manual tag we have added. Okay, let me go to your class check. Let me open the host page also. So if I'll open this, now you open this properties and tag. So now see whichever the tag was added, which is has a automatic rule-based tag, you will not have a cross symbol here. You are getting the difference now. You are seeing the difference now. So this you can, by seeing itself, you can say this is the automatic rule-based tag. So now if I'll open this, see application easy trade. So whichever things you will add, application easy trade, this is the rule-based tag. You will not have a cross symbol. And the thing is, a tag will help you everywhere. Yesterday in the alert profile, you have seen the tag, right? You have seen that in the alert profile when you are doing some filtering on of the alert in the resource, yeah, slow down, yeah, anywhere, right? You have an option to that has any tag. So this tag only will help you. This tag will help you in everywhere in Dynatrace. Filter your entity. You see, filter your entity, application, easy trade. I can filter that. One thing. Second thing also, it will filter you while creating a rules in the management zone, in the alerting, in the alert profile, everywhere in the dashboard, everywhere it will help you to, you can filter your entity with the help of tag. Okay, so tag is so much important in Dynatrace. You can't believe me. When you have broader environment, tag only will help you to when you are doing the proper routing of alerts, yeah, anything, you tag will help you to do that. Okay, so this tag, always try to create a tag in this way. Suppose you want to create here itself you can add prod. Okay, and you can add the rules. Okay, you don't give optional value, and the rule applies to, suppose, take host and search for host group equals hotel demo example. If you have any entity, it will show. So it will get added. But the problem is, like, now you have a prod, then you will have UAT, then you will have a staging, then you will have a dev. So now somebody add a prod in P capital, somebody adds P small. It would be very difficult to, this page will go first page, second page, third page, it will go more than 25, 30 page. Okay. If you do this way, it will have more than 20 to 30. Tell me, what are the tags you are putting in your organization? Okay, like environment, application, version, support, okay, BAU, cloud type. These are the things we used to put, right? Apart from that, you are putting anything? Santosh, Srinivas, Vasu, I think you are implementing Dynatrace. So what are the tags you are putting?
Yeah, similar.
Similar, right? And if you create a tag this way, when your environment grown like a bigger means 5,000, 10,000 servers, right? It will be your 20 page, 30 page, 40 page. Okay, and then you'll have and you don't have here filter option like search by here. Now you go first page, second page, third page, fourth page, and then you see that, and then you add a rule, yeah, modify. So people, what used to do, again, seeing that one prod here we have, and that is in the 10th page, I'll create one prod in the capital letter, P capital, something like that. It will be difficult for you to, when you do this kind of way, if you are inserting a tag in this way, it would be very, very difficult to manage the tag in later on. I have seen, I took this project for this only, specific for this project itself. One of the US guy, they did in that way, and that their environment around 10,000 server, and then I have recommended for this way. Then they have removed all the tags and they have added this way. It took them to complete revive for Dynatrace, took them for 2 months in the tagging in the proper way. Because first they need to understand, analyze the tags, which entity, what tag, and then they used to create a rules. it would be very difficult. So, and the initial setup itself, whoever doing the solutioning, designing, they should go in the proper way. Otherwise, whoever as a Dynatrace consultant, as a working, if somebody they are doing it, you need to suggest them. Because when your environment grown bigger, people face lot of difficulty, then become little complex project, and then people used to migrate from here to there to here. That is how it is happening, right, in the organization, everywhere. Your environment become bigger. You did in the mistake in the front itself, and then later on, whoever in the last, they used to struggle a lot, and then there's too much pressure in the job, and then they should switch to another job. That's how it is happening everywhere in the observability space. That is the reason for any tools you are implementing, implement as a best practice. Any questions?
No, yeah, thanks.
Okay, 1 second. So this is the best way you need to implement a tag, okay? So if you have any doubts, you can ask me so that I can guide you in the proper way, so that you should not face any difficulty in when you are doing implementing tag in your organization, okay?
Ravi, two tag can be of same name?
Two tags, same names, key or value.
Key.
Suppose I have a environment as a key. That's what I shown you, right? Prod I have added. Now same prod, if I'll try to add this prod name and rule I am adding for different, suppose example, a rule applies for take for process group, okay, add condition, host group, I'm taking host group itself, equal to hotel demo example, display entity, I'm getting this, all the process, I'm doing the save changes. What is saying? This tag is already, key is already defined. So what you can do is, now what is same thing, people are doing the mistake. Now what they, instead of prod is already exist, you don't want to go inside that, you can keep little capital, okay, and save changes. So that way, if it is not, if you can do that, but this is not a best practice. Always, that is the reason I recommended you add a key and then inside what value. So same thing like that. You'll have maximum 30 to 40 key. Okay, and then you go inside wherever you want to insert, what tag you want to insert, just to do the add the value, change the value here, like a tag value, and then which entity you want to go, monitored entity. You can go with the entity selector. Entity selector means entity ID. You can copy this entity ID. This is your entity ID. If I'll open this, service -ID is called entity ID, host -ID is called entity ID, host group -ID is called to entity ID, that you can do that. So you can type here entity ID bracket double quote. You can paste it here. You can paste here. So only value you can change. Key you keep only one. So that is the best practice. Clear, Gaurav?
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
And probably these keys are like whatever application ID is there, right? You copied from the top. These are standard, right? It won't change it, right?
Which this you
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah.
See, every entity has a unique ID. Okay,
Yeah.
when your application, when your entity got visualized in your Dynatrace, okay, onboarded in your Dynatrace environment, each entity has their own unique ID, which is called entity ID. When you create, when you create with the help of API or with the help of Terraform, you might have seen that metrics/-ID. This /ID, that ID is coming whenever you create something from that API or Terraform, right? Their ID will get created for that entity. So whenever you are fetching the data, sometimes entity ID, entity name, that entity ID, you can use that. Okay. Each entity has ID. So if you go to your, suppose, process example. So we have technology and process. We have not moved the process group. So now we have. So suppose I'm open Kafka. Open this. This is process group ID. This is your entity ID. For this Kafka, this is a unique ID. Okay. For any entity has a unique ID. Make sense? So this is the way you can insert your tag. So basically, people used to do some mistake, and then when after that they are facing some lot of difficulty, then they used to find that what is the best approach. Okay, because because I know, so I have created this way key value. Somebody don't know, they have added this way. Then later on, it became like 1 page to 50 page tag. And after certain value, there is a limit. Okay, it is not mentioned in the document, but there is a limit. Once you exceed the limit, it is not allowed to create a tag. Now what you can do? So now you have to adjust that. Now you see which are the duplicate. These are duplicate. Like that you used to manage. So basically, in the organization, always is recommended you go this way. Key then value, because optional every time people used to forget. Hey, it is optional, so leave that. I understand.
Ravi,
Yeah, go
is
ahead.
there any limit for the tags creation?
Yeah, there is a limit, because I supported one guy in US, and there was a limit, and he could not able to create a tag because this issue only. Then I have seen their environment, then I have recommended, then deleted a lot of things, and then because he could not able to create. Why? Because there was a limit. But if you see in the document, tag limit in Dynatrace, just if you search, you can't find any documentation. Dynatrace does not have any hard limit, but you can apply to entity, but there is a limit. They have not mentioned anywhere, but if you are not, see 10,000. You see? Somewhere people are facing
It's for
difficulty.
application or how it will be?
See, up to 100 per host, up to 10,000 per tenant. 10,000 tags per tenant.
Okay.
Something like that. They have a limit. I will tell you that, because even I was not sure, like it has there is no hard limit. Okay, but when I saw that issue, then I realized that okay, there is a limit.
Otherwise, it's very difficult. Application level also, it will getting slowness because of these things.
So this is the way. Okay. So now let's move to. So I hope everyone is clear, right? How you can create a tag. Now let's move.
Here, tagging REST API means, Ravi?
You can create a tag via API also. You can create a tag via Terraform also. You can create a tag via Monaco.
Here, API means like we have API version 1 and 2, that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you see this, right?
Yeah.
Open this Dynatrace API. You go to support. We have, and Dynatrace has a chat support. Okay. So sometimes whatever the issue you have, when you have enterprise, you have a live chat support. Okay. Whatever the issue you have, just give the issue and they will try to fix as soon as possible within 5 minutes. If they could not able to fix, then it will create a support case automatically. They have a live support now for any tenant. If you have a premium, premium tenant means you have taken the support as a premium, then they will be assigned a people like you, me, Dynatrace will hire, and then they'll assign for you to this tenant specific to this tenant. Whenever you get a request from this tenant, you need to resolve as soon as possible. So there is a resolution time frame, right? Based on that, you need to resolve that. Otherwise, if you have not taken any support, then if you ping most of the people from India, because Dynatrace has opened office in Bangalore recently, which is inauguration tomorrow. Okay, so they have hired many peoples in India, which is college pass out, 2 years, 3 years pass out peoples. Okay, and they have put an office in Bangalore, which is in Whitefield. Okay, they have added is a very bigger office in Bangalore because of this cost, all those things. Because you understand, right? This chat support all those things, and they are paying also very well. For freshers, they are paying 12 lakhs, 13 lakhs. You can't believe me. In the last batch, there was 6 members from Dynatrace, like college pass out, and he got offer in Dynatrace. Now they took a training from us, from me, and then got, and their package was 12 lakhs as a fresher in India. So paying well, and they have 8 hours of work in the proper way, and they used to support that. So all this way we have that. Okay, so if you open this API, you have a API. So you have 3 types of API. V1, then we have all the APIs here.
And this V1 is deprecated, right? V2 is
Most of things are deprecated, most of things are working. Okay, depend on the switch. So configuration API V2, if you see, basically V2 API is still working. So here you see matrix unit, monitor entity, get entity, all those things for any entity like host, process, whatever things. Custom tag, you see, delete tag, get tag, insert tag. You see that? So you create API. I'll show you that when we will talk about APIs, right? We'll discuss in a little deeper how you can ingest the data with the help of APIs, all those things. Okay.
yeah, sure.
How you can delete, how you can add, all those things. Okay, so this is the way you can ingest a tag. Now coming to anomaly detection. So remember in the anomaly detection, yesterday in the first session, we discussed about auto baselining, remember? For alerting for auto baselining, that Dynatrace will take your 7 days of data and then they will do analyze, and based on that,
Yes,
they
yes, yes.
will change the threshold accordingly, right?
Yeah.
So in anomaly detection, okay, we have auto baselining. Why? Because why I'm saying that there's a question in the exam, in the certification, and there is a custom. Custom threshold. Okay, so we have 2 things. Anomaly detection you have for all the KPIs, like your host, service, web application, your database, then your Kubernetes cluster, your disk, your AWS, whichever things you see, right? Almost it is visible. It is a basic KPI I'm talking about. Basic KPI means survival for anything. Okay. Already they have KPIs available. Disk, then we have a custom disk, all those things. Okay. Apart from that, you configure anything, any alert you want to trigger apart from default anomaly detection. Okay. Which is called custom event, which is called custom alert. Alert you can say, but in Dynatrace concept, we used to call custom event. Event is also some kind of alert, right? So it is called custom event. In anomaly detection, we have 2 types of anomaly detection. 2 types. One is global and second one is local. Anyone has idea what local? Why I'm saying global and local? Okay, we'll understand that step by step. So if you see right in the setting tab, because these are default anomaly detection, the default alert KPIs, which is already configured in Dynatrace for all the KPIs. So if you see this, where you have anomaly detection, so this you have web application. Suppose I'll go with the infrastructure. So this is like host monitoring connection lost problem. So gracefully host shutdown. So this is not taking anything. Don't alert on graceful host shutdown. Somebody gracefully, right? Whenever Windows Server something unplanned, something it is coming in the organization, right? Okay. CPU saturation. If it is a automatic, what does it mean? It is taking auto baselining based on your AI. What is your AI is Davis AI. You see that Davis Copilot, right? Which is called your Davis AI. If you add as a custom threshold, I don't want to go with default anomaly detection, which has automatic. I want to go with custom setting. I can keep as a 90% as alert. Example. Violation sample 18 in 10 second samples. Okay. Every window size 30 minutes. Okay. This high system load on automatic. I can take custom 5 minutes. 18. Then this I can take. Memory uses, I can take custom. So if you don't want, some of the organization don't want to have a auto baselining, they have a custom threshold, then you can do for 90% for Windows, 90% Linux. Both I add like this, you can do all the changes. GC activity, automatic, I don't want custom settings. So you need to understand that application team, and then this value you are putting, right? When you are putting 90% threshold, suppose you have a 5,000 servers, all the hosts accepted has to accept 90% threshold. Are you getting my point? So now you do the changes. Same way you do the changes and you save changes. So now example, in the scenario just I'm talking about, every organization, if you see there is a one application team, they need an alert on 95%. Yeah, 90%. But there is another team also, they need alert in 85%. Is it happening? Yes, yeah, no. On the CPU memory disk I'm talking about.
Yes.
Happening?
Yes.
Now, you have added in the setting, which is your 90%. Suppose you have a 5,000 server onboarded in Dynatrace. 5,000, just to think, 4,000 accepting 90% threshold. Another 500 servers accepting 95% threshold. And another 500 threshold, they are saying I need 85 itself. Okay. Now tell me how you can fix this issue, because in your setting, you can, if you are going with customization, custom threshold, then I have to have only the one threshold. Yes, no, one threshold you can have, right?
We can have host groups, something, no? Based on that, we can local systems we can define and put it.
So now, so whichever this higher majority side, higher majority, you understand now 4,000 you have in the higher majority. Okay. So what I will do is in the global setting, whichever the value in the higher majority, I'll keep that one threshold. I suppose I am an architect. Yeah, Nistel is solution architect for observability. He can decide, okay, whatever the threshold you have for CPU, memory, disk, GC activity, that is for based on the standard value in the market, global market, that I'm putting that value. Okay, 90, 95, whatever things. Okay, now if you don't want this threshold, I can do the local changes. That is the reason I told you, right? Global and local. So now suppose another 500 servers, they said I 95%. Maybe it having three application, yeah, 4 application, yeah, 5 application servers. Okay, in that case, what I can do is I can do the changes here, and just after that there is no save button. Just to go here, automatically got changed. You go here, that is done. Now you go to that host, which host pointing to which host, which application, they need a threshold for different threshold from the global threshold. Okay, I'll go to that entity. Suppose you have a host ID. So suppose we have a 500 host. 500 hosts pointing to suppose 5 applications. Each application has 100 hosts. So maybe if I'll go to each entity, 500 host entity, how much time it will take? 500 minutes minimum. Yes, no?
Yeah.
So now for each entity, if I go and do the changes, in spite of that, what I can do is, suppose you go to entity, EG Trade Web App 01, and their setting, which has a anomaly detection. I open this, then go to your setting tab. And they have a anomaly detection, which is called anomaly detection for infrastructure. I can do the changes here. So what is happening is you are overriding this setting, still accepting global threshold. Okay, when you do the changes, now we have global also 90, this also 90. When I'm doing to 90 to 95, only this. So when you do this changes, this setting is getting overridden. You see here. You see, these settings are overriding global setting, which is your overriding. Now, in spite of this one host, and I will do the changes, in spite of that, I can remove the override, and each host I will do, suppose 100 times I have to do for that. In spite of that, instead of host, I can go with the host group setting, because it's a logical, right? Similar characteristic of a host application. So I can go with host, open this EG trade. Okay, I'll open this EG trade host, and there's a, instead of host setting, I'll go to my host group setting and I will do the changes. So in spite of doing 500 times, I can do 5 times. Are you getting my point? So this is your host group, and I will go to host group setting. You see somewhere setting, no, host group, no.
It's in fourth option.
Okay, it is there. So you see, it is a host group setting here. So you can do the changes. So now you have a host group setting. So whichever entity is assigned to this EasyTrade host, all the hosts will accept same threshold which you have added. Not to anomaly detection for infrastructure. And now see host group setting, you have other option also for service, database, custom disk, disk edge. Are you getting my point? You are getting better option. If you go to the entity, now you have to go to host entity. Then you have to go to the, if you want to do for service also, you have to do for service. Then you have to for custom disk, for you have to do for database. Suppose example I'm talking about. You have to go each entity and do the changes. So 500 times into, again you into multiply. You do that. It will take you like a week of time. In spite of that, I will go to that host group setting. Just I'll, in spite of going 1 day or 2 day effort, I can manage in just in half an hour or 30 minutes. So I'll go to my infrastructure, change to 95. So all the entity belongs to this host group, whichever host is assigned to each trade, I can do the changes. Other threshold will be same, but it will take a, it is getting overridden, environment setting. So suppose now if you do the changes, whatever the service you have, so global setting, let me open this. Same goes to service, same go to your web application, same goes to all the things. It has the same concept, global, local, okay? For service, now you want to do, so in spite of this host setting, I can go the host, because host group setting, right? Whichever that is belongs to one application, all the one application pointing to one host group setting, right? So that way we used to do that, so it will be easier for us, okay? So now if you see this, if I'll go to my service, Service has a response time, failure rate, traffic spike, traffic drop. These are the basic KPI we have, right? So response time degradation, we have increase in failure rate, we have service load drop. Load drop means sometimes your traffic suddenly goes. Now you are, suppose you are running airlines, make my trip, yeah, something like that. Airlines, air booking, flight ticket website, and you have expected load every hour, every minute, like 1,000 to 5,000. Now suddenly you are getting 50, 20. What will happen? Definitely there is a issue, right? So sometimes some of the scenario load drop is needed, but load spike always needed. Okay, like it goes to 100% to 200%, then I need alert. A span you can have for 1 minute, 5 minutes, whatever things. Okay, so now this is your global threshold. Okay, if you see wherever you see automatic, means it is taking the default baselining. If you once you have added as a fixed threshold, then what happened is it is your custom threshold. Is it clear for everyone? So this is the way you have for all the mobile app, custom app, database, extension, metric. So these are all the things. Now, apart from that, this is your basic KPI, which everyone has to configure. Tell me, if you talk about basic KPIs for all the things I will take, if you talk about infrastructure, CPU, memory, disk, heap memory, garbage collection, network error, JavaScript, out of memory, all those things basic KPI. Yes, yeah, no. If you talk about web application, front-end web app, response time degradation, failure rate, traffic spike, traffic drop, these are the basic KPI. Database response time, database connectivity. Connectivity means your database that able to connect, okay, JDBC, yeah, ODBC connectivity. Then failure rate, whatever things. This is your basic KPI. Yes, yeah, no. These are the basic KPI. Apart from that, you have many other KPIs like 4x error, 5x error, failure rate. Failure rate also already we have. Okay, so 4x error, 5x error for particular service. Okay, and for particular this much failure we have, then I need alert. Those kind of things you have a custom KPI. Okay, custom KPI you have to configure. Okay, so how you can configure a custom KPI? And custom KPI always you have to configure in the global setting. There is no option in the local setting where you can configure the custom KPI. Are you getting my point? So if you see there is a which is called metric event. This is your custom KPI, which is called, this is for other than that you have for Kubernetes, namespace, workload, PVC, all those things we have. Apart from that, whatever things, these are the basic KPI, default anomaly detection we have for each entity setting, that also we have, which is called local. Apart from that, anything you configure, which is called custom KPI, custom alert, and custom alert, a custom event that has to be configured in the global setting itself. So suppose I am configuring here, it is happening. Okay, so I am configuring HTTP 4xx error count greater than 20. Example 4x error. Metric key, just to type here HTTP 4xx. Okay, number of 4xx errors, you see. Now you can filter by management zone. When you filter by management zone, you will have only default entity related to that. Suppose I am taking open telemetry demo app. How many entity you have? Where we have entity, add entity filter. You see how many entity you have? This many. Only related to what? Open telemetry. If you don't add open telemetry, then all the entity will be applicable. You see, entity, and if you take the value, all the entity will get added. So when you filter, it will be have related to that only. So now a scope, in the scope we have only this many entity which is belongs to your management zone, which is called open telemetry. Yeah, if I'll take easy trade, that entity. So now value, so configuration service, and so this is only one entity. Then a static threshold I can add when you have more than 20. Threshold input in the count, alert preview service, configuration service, required event template. Okay, what is the template name? I have HTTP 4x error count. I can give this is for which service? Configuration service. Configuration service 4xx error count greater than 20. The custom alert, this is your event template title. Custom alert, you can add your dimension key, your service, and that service ID. That service has ID, right? That also you can add, but it is optional. You don't add, which is fine. But if you add it dt.entity.service ID and their configuration ID you can add, then you can do the save changes. You see, now your custom alert got configured. Now, so in this alert, right, you have a severity. What we have selected? You see this severity custom alert. Even sometimes infrastructure alert, yeah, something you can search, you can have like error, I can add that. It will accept that. Depend on that, what scenario you are creating alert, okay? Where you want to route. So when you get a requirement, suppose example, why I am saying, because you need to think little upper side. When you create alert, now you need to think where you want to route. A specific team. Are you getting my point? Yeah, global. Then he said, no, for this alert, I want to send global. Then I can take as a related to that. Like what kind of severity you have. It comes under error, I'll add in the error. If no, I want to send in the specific to this guy. For that I'm creating alert. Then you can have a custom, and then you create alert profile for alerting, and then you add only that alert profile with the help of tag. You filter by tag, and then you send alert. So you need to understand, you need to think little bigger where you need to send alert. Based on that, this severity you can change. You can change that. But as a best practice, I always recommend you custom you create, you add as a custom only. Don't include in your default default anomaly detection that we have for alerting. Don't include in that. Otherwise, later on you'll face some difficulty in the routing. Make sense? So this is the way you can create all the alerts, okay? 4x error, 5x error, process CPU error, whatever that you see, right? Any alert, you have two way. One is metric key and one is metric selector. Metric selector, you can write a query, okay? Like custom query, and you can do that. And second one is you can write a metric key. Basically, 90% people used to go with metric key only. And then you select that metric and then do the changes. Any questions how you can do that? You try to create, set up your environment, understand that, okay, and just try to whatever alert you have in your organization, you see that on a daily level, you try to replicate at least few so that you will have a broader understanding for this, okay? Otherwise, what will happen? If you understand like global, local, and custom alerts, whatever the threshold you have, which is called default KPI, which is available in the default anomaly, apart from that, anything you configure, which is called your custom alert. Any question? So silent.
Hey, no, nothing is
No,
there. We
we
need
are
to go through
It is
it.
clear, right, for everyone?
Yeah, but if we have hands on it, will be.
Just you need to little bit, right? Either you can use the same tenant already. Everyone has access. The trial will get expired in this week, next week. Okay, and then again we have to create a new trial, but which is fine. But at least you try to do set up at least few things so that able to understand. And this is the basic thing, man. This is not like a very much complex, you can say, okay, because these are the things as a L3. I never seen that they're creating alert something. L1, L2 itself is capable of doing that. Okay. And L3, when you have a custom requirement where you have fetching proper way and then you are doing that. Basically, when you are go for Dynatrace, right? The people used to ask how you can implement Dynatrace as a best practice because Dynatrace has a lot of loophole. If you don't implement in the proper way, later on you will struggle when your environment got bigger. So
Ravi, can you set it for 200 errors? So, like, we'll try to access. Can you give the example, like,
which one?
for this metric event custom alert?
For which
Instead of
2x error you are talking about? 2x count?
2x count, we can demo it now itself, right? If you share
Apart
that,
apart from the which KPI you are talking about?
the same KPI.
Which
Instead of
one?
400, 4x, 4 double X instead 2 double X. Ravi.
Okay. 2xx. Okay.
So
2xx you will not get, right? Okay. So 2xx you will not get directly. Okay. Because 2xx means whether available applications is down completely, right? That is the reason you are giving the HTTPS stat 200. Okay. When so you will have 5xx instead of 2xx. When your any of the application goes down, what will happen?
5xx will display.
5xx, not a 2xx. Okay. So you will have a number of 5xx. Whenever any service goes down, means you will receive 500 errors. Correct? Yes,
Okay,
you
Ravi.
know.
Yeah.
You will
Can
receive
you
a
give
five.
a demo, like
Uh,
how
so
it will create,
so you
like in
see,
the problem or in the
you see.
notification?
So now number of 5 HTTPX error. Okay, I will see HTTP 5xx error count. Okay. Now value management zone, you leave it. You add which entity. Okay. Wait. Anyone. So just take this service ID. Entity filter and you paste this. Okay. So now we have this threshold count 4. I'm giving max and this front end and 5xx error count. 5xx error count. How you can do that, right? Like for alerting, you want to test something like that, right? You want to do that. What you can do is greater than 4 times people try, and then you get alert. Now you do the save changes. Okay. What you can do is deploy one application. Then if it is this, kill the process. Your application loaded, that service is running. Then if it's a Docker container, one container you go and stop that. If suppose this is my example. View dashboard. instance running. Okay, I'll open this EG trade. Okay, connect this. How you can test it means, now if I'll go to, let me connect the VM. Space SU ls CG EG trade. Okay, now we have, if you type docker ps, we have this many container. Any container you keep it a stop. So docker stop container ID. So I can copy this. Now what will happen? Your service goes down. I'll stop this. What happened? Your application goes down now. Backend. So now if I'll go to my service, if I'll go to your front end, check which application went down. Okay, like this you have to do, so that you will receive an alert like, okay, you have now your application not loading. I will show you that. You see this. Whenever something is not able, right, internal 500 error you are getting, right? Remember? So now I will open this. So this application is completely up now. Now see, backend went down. So you are getting user ID. You see this. Earlier yesterday we had a username, right? All the username. Now you are not getting. Why? Because
The
your back
service.
service went down. Because that backend service is getting called to your database. See, my database service is up. You see, if I'll type docker ps -a, you see, okay, people, you will get confused. So now see, my MongoDB is up, Angular front is up, and this is my front end. But whatever this backend request is getting called, that backend went down. So now what I have to do? Suppose let me down that Docker front end also. Docker ps docker stop container ID. Paste this. So now my front end also got a stop. Only my database is running. But who send a request to database? Either post call, yeah, and get call. That API is getting call rise in the backend. Now if you read this, will you be able to access this? You see, you're getting 500 error, right? So you are getting the error now. Your application is not loading. Means application goes down. So you have, so this is the way now you need to do that. Okay. Now, so my application is not loading. If you have configured, you will receive errors. So now you see, wait for a few minutes. You'll receive maybe problem. Application went down. Wait for a few minutes. You will receive some problems because we have a default anomaly detection. So application availability and all this will be taken care. So it will be, you will receive a problem.
For the metrics we created for five double X error also we will receive right here.
Wait for that. I think you will not get because we have configured for different service. Okay. We have configure for different service, which is which service we have. Entity service ID this. Front-end service. This is for different man. This is for different service. Okay. This is for open telemetry. Okay. So this is the way you can do that. Okay. This is for different application, but you will receive some problems. Wait for few minutes because it will detect automatically. Because we have not added in the alert profile, right? Delay for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, right? You'll receive a problem. Okay. So you will receive a problem. So this is the way you can able to configure. Okay. And you can able to test. Okay. So just for testing like that, you have to do. Okay. Stop that. Then you check whether alert you are getting so that you can understand the each KPI in the proper way. Service goes down, right? The service goes down. So this is the way you can able to test it like this. Okay. Now let me Docker start container ID. Where we have backend. Mongo Docker stop this. How you see this? Oh, okay. So this is the way you can do that. So now see my application would be up now. So now see my application up now completely. Okay. So just to test it like this. Okay. Why still it is down? Oh, takes time little bit. Yeah. Application is up now. Okay. So this is the way you can test it like this. You do it for one application. You take either a EG trade is a small one and you deploy one server, test it end to end in the proper way. Okay. Then you can able to understand in the proper sequence I'm talking about. Okay. What is happening is you can understand the concept. The problem if you don't do that right, it would be difficult. So better you deploy this easy trade application. It's a very simple, okay? I'm requesting everyone. Easy trade GitHub URL. This is your easy trade application. You have to install only, I think already I've given all the steps, okay, commands, okay? Clone this code and go to your server. One server you create 2 virtual CPU, 4 GB of RAM, and there you deploy that with the help of Docker Compose, and then you do that. Okay. Yeah, if you want to do that jar file, then you have a Spring Petkalik application that you do that, which has a single service. Okay, in the proper you do that, then you implement that environment, and then you any issue you are facing a difficulty, you connect offline also after the class, sometimes in the daytime, whenever you have a time. You invest at least 10 to 15 hours. Okay, in the entire training, you will have a more knowledge on Dynatrace. Okay, now so you understood that, right? So that is the way. This is the way you create that. Okay, like 4x error, 5x error, process CPU, many KPIs you can able to configure in Dynatrace. I think Bashu, what are the KPI you are configuring for custom?
Few of them custom things we have it, but not exactly. I can collect now.
How many? At least ballpark you have idea? You have configured 10, 20, 30.
Yeah, we have. I guess 150 something.
So you can create that, okay, and you understand that. You try to create whatever the basic. Everyone is working on the observability space, right? Manoj, I think Harish is working. Janardhan, you? I don't see your voice. Okay, just to try to configure that, and then you understand little in broader level. Okay, I am not going little like a faster to complete my topic. I am giving you a space to do some changes in your environment, and then you discuss with me. Okay, so that it will be a more concept will get cleared, and then after that you go for either you go for designing, you go for admin stuff. If you have ideas, you can do in the proper way. Okay, then I'll go with another topic. Okay, which is called custom service monitoring. Anyone has idea what custom service? Anyone has idea what custom service monitoring?
To segregate like application wise.
No. What is happening? Agent.
Few services are not, example 10 services are there. Also, one service is missing from monitoring. We can
correct.
add custom.
So a custom service, first thing, whenever you add a custom service, tell me agent restart, your application restart is needed. First question, interview question. Yes, no.
Yes, Ravi.
Yeah. So whenever you add any custom service, your application restart is needed. And same time, whenever doing the application restart, you do the agent restart also. Okay. So first thing. So how you can enable your custom service? Okay. There is a called custom service. So when agent is nothing but what is that? A script, right? Somebody has written a script. But our application works behave different way, your application work different way. How you can think, right, that agent when you install for all the application, for all the scenario, it will detect all the service? It is not possible, correct? Because our use case is different, your case is different. How the Dynatrace will think that? But at least they have done with the standard level, so at least 99%, yeah, 100% you can say that service is getting visible, right? But however, some of the scenario, it won't get visible also. So you can configure as a custom service. Suppose out of 10 service, one service here, two service which is not visible, you can configure as a custom service. So if you go to your setting, service detection, and then you see here, custom service detection. Add here, define, so based on the technology. So you can add Java, .NET, PHP, Go service, and Node.js. This means if you're in Java, select the Java and custom service name. So I'm giving XYZ service example. Then there is a two-way. One way is manual. Whenever you go with manual, you don't know the class name, you don't know the method name, you don't know method identifier name. What are the method will getting called? You don't know that. So whom you need to contact? Satish, whom you need to contact? Application team, because you don't know that. Am I correct? Because you don't know, right? You are from the different team itself. Okay, so you have to contact application team if you are going with manual. Still, if you are going with the entry point, you have to interact with application team. Either both the way, whenever you are adding a custom service which is not detected. So who will raise a point? So suppose when you are onboarding a service application, and when you install Dynatrace One Agent as a full stack, you have to discuss with application, tell me what are the service application service should get visible. List of application service. He will give you login service, authentication service, booking service, payment service. These are the service should get visible. List of service you give me. Okay, 20 service. Out of 20, you see, okay, hey, 18 only is getting visible. 2 is not getting visible. Then he will check, okay, this 2 service is not getting visible. This is the way you have to install, implement Dynatrace. Not like you go install the agent, configure everything. No silo mode. You have to discuss always with the application team. If you discuss in the proper way, the application team, your onboarding will happen in the proper way. So now 18 service is getting visible, 2 services not getting visible. Okay, which 2 service? Then your application team, if you have a list of service list, yeah, you have a server access, you can check that. If you don't have, then you check with application. Okay, this 2 service is not visible, how you can detect that? Hey, then they will ask you, hey, how you can detect this? Hey, we can configure a custom service, or can you help me in little things? Then find an entry point for this service. Which process? They'll tell you. Okay, is a Kafka example. Then Kafka service. Then what is that class name? Now, who will give you the class name? You tell me. Who will give you the class name? You should know the class name? No, you should not. You cannot. You have not seen the code itself. Even the application team, he has to see the code and then they will tell you the exact class name. It is a case sensitive. So you have to give the class name. Once you give the class name, so let me take for another one, for simple one. Okay, so I have to take a class name. I'll go to my this class name. I am taking pet clinic, related to my just the some dummy one. Okay, related to my application, I'm giving, there will be one pet clinic class, so I'm giving this. If find that, they can find the class. It will give you the list of class, whether you have that. So now I have this many. See how many class we have. So I'm taking a base entity example. I've select this class. Then continue. Then use selected class. Then go next. What are the methods should get called? This method. So whichever the method it is coming, just I'm taking the random. Okay, and finish. Save changes. So it got added. Now if I'll go to my front end, okay, not this. My application is working. Now I could see the class data. Let me do some transaction. So if I'll go to my service, I could see XYZ service. Yes, yeah, no. I should not see that. Why? Because I'm not sure that service should get visible also. First thing, we need to restart your app. First, you need to generate some traffic. And first, you restart application, generate some traffic, and restart one agent. So I will go to this, and I will go to open this. Okay, Spring Pet Clinic. Connect. Sudo space SU. CDS. Okay, PS-EF. Pipe. Grep. Java. Kill-9. And this is the ID. It gone. Now check application loading. No, it won't get loaded. So now what I can do is history. Okay, now type my application loaded. Systemctl restart one agent dot service. Now done. Generate some traffic.
Sorry, Ravi here.
Hmm.
One agent is not restarted. It won't detect.
It won't detect. Restart is needed to load that na complete properly, and you need to restart your agent also.
Okay.
If you do the restart right, then it won't take much time to detect. But it will not detect until unless you don't restart. So now refresh it. Maybe XYZ service will get visible. Wait for a few minutes, sometimes take time also. But it may or may not be, okay? Because that service is available, then only it would be visible. So this is the way you can do that. See, XYZ service got added. You see that? So this is the way you need to add a custom service. Sometimes in the scenario, custom service is not getting, some of the service not getting detected. Then you have to discuss with your application team for sure. Like, what is this service name? You can understand that. Then which process, then which class you should take, then which method you should take. Now we have here, you see 556 method, right? In the real time, you will see 100 methods, 200 methods. Now, which one you will accept? So it would be very, very difficult until unless you don't discuss with the application team. Is it clear for everyone? So this is the way you can configure your custom service, okay? It is very, very important to understand that, because definitely in the interview, they used to ask, hey, how you can configure a custom service? Restart is needed, yes. Then always you have to think, okay, not like you can't implement Dynatrace or any observability tools in your silo. You have to always, there should be one a spokesperson from your application team so that you can onboard in the proper way. Either they have not assigned also, just have a proper interaction in the chat and Teams or something like that, 5 minutes call, 10 minutes call. That's how people used to implement. If you don't discuss with the application team, it would be difficult. Because the application team doesn't know how Dynatrace work, and you itself don't know how the application works implemented. So you have to always discuss with the application team.
Ravi, for this custom service monitoring,
Hmm.
to detect, do we need to restart both the service, or either one is okay to detect the text service?
See, now depend on that which service you are going to add. First thing, one agent restart is needed. Okay, so now you have to test and tell me tomorrow. Okay, you implement Dynatrace, you have a Dynatrace trial. Okay, you implement one pet clinic, try to add custom service, add one custom service, restart one agent first. Okay, and do some
Okay.
transaction. Then whether xy service is getting added, yes, yeah, no, any random service you select that. Okay, 1 2, and then if it is not getting added, then restart your application. Because why I have shown you that both the restarting application, all those things, it will get visible in quickly means just minutes. When you don't restart your application and you restart your Dynatrace one agent, it takes time. So you first add the custom service and do the transaction, check service is getting added. No. Then you restart one agent, check and do some transaction, it is getting added. Then if you restart application service and then do some transaction, then you check whether it is getting added or not. Then only you will have a broader understanding and you will remember for longer time. If I'll tell you right now itself, okay, this is the best, it would, you can remember that. The problem here is if you don't invest sometimes, right, then at least you invest some 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, you can do that. Okay, and then you let me know which is the best way, how it was getting visible. You tried all the possibility. Yeah, you tried only one agent restart and then it worked. You only did application restart. Yeah, it worked. Yeah, and then later on you people used to read that documentation and say, okay, hey, only application restart is needed. Yeah, this restart is needed. Because you have added another class. Your one agent is not unknowing that, right? So one agent restart is must be needed. Yes, yeah, no. Are you getting my
Yes,
point?
Ravi.
Now one agent spread everywhere across your ecosystem in the host. Now added another service. So one agent doesn't know, right? New service got added. So what will happen? Agent restart is needed. Am I correct? But application restart, if you do, it will become a, if you do that, fine. If you don't do that, also it will get visible. You try it. Only one agent restart is must be needed. But if you do application restart, if you have a time, within a minute data will get visible. Because it's reloaded, right? And you added a custom service. So one agent also came to know one configuration got API request happened, and this also happened. So services, it will get linked together, it will get visible in the one side. If you do some transaction, when that service got called, then only it will get visible. You understand that? So just to test it so that you'll have a permutation combination. Okay.
Sure, Ravi.
Okay. So that's it for today. Hey, tomorrow and Friday, I'm not taking class. So in week, because most of the people saying it is getting hectic for everyone because now we have a class. Then again, we have a class in